Hey everybody, I'm Tom, and today I'm going to be doing a video on the Softopper installation for the Plymouth Trail Duster and Dodge Ramchargers between 74 and 1980. Today's vehicle is a 1978 Plymouth Trail Duster Sport. She is painted Canyon Sunfire Red, a first-year color for 1978. And she has a Macho decal package that did not arrive on this vehicle originally. Phoenix Graphics makes the package, and it is fantastic, offsetting it with the white wheels. The Sport package on the Trail Duster consisted of wood grain dashboard and wood grain highlights along the truck bed. Of course, my dashboard is currently removed, so you won't see the wood grain there, but you will see these Trail Duster Sport emblems and some of the wood trim that came along with that package. My motor's been bored and stroked to a 408 with aluminum heads and a roller cam. So let's get the roof on this baby. Alright guys, so she is in the garage and ready for the installation. Instruction manual says an hour. We'll see. As far as the equipment, this is what arrives from Softopper. I've also grabbed a magnetic parts tray and laid out the actual roof to start to flatten out. A lot of people recommend installing these on warmer days as the fabric is a little bit easier to work with. It is February 1st in Phoenix, so it should be plenty warm. I am actually a big fan of instructions. So Softopper provides a black and white instruction manual with detailed instructions. They also have color instructions online. So if you run into anything that you're unsure of, I'm a big fan of measure 3 times and cut once. I also have the iPad, just in case I have to look up anything online. There's no other videos of the Softopper installation for the Ramcharger or Trail Duster online that I've been able to locate. So hopefully my work today will help the next person. Here we go. This is a list of the tools that you will need. Most of these should be in your toolkit if you own a 40-year-old Dodge or Plymouth. So, if you own a Ramcharger or Trail Duster and haven't had the roof off, here are the connection points. There are 4 bolts in the windshield header that connect there. Underneath, they have a circular area and have those little caps inside of them. I have 3 of 4, which from what I understand is actually pretty good. Then of course after 74.5, you'll have a full window loop on the Ramchargers and Trail Dusters, and then 4 attachment points across the top of each bed rail. This one does have a steel roof. It is in the yard and it is enormously heavy. This one also came with a factory roll bar, pretty hard to find these days, and is a double skid plate vehicle. Both the gas tank and the transfer case have a skid plate. She's painted in Canyon Sunfire Red, which is a first-year color. Custom gas cap by one of the dudes on the Facebook page. And the wrong mirrors, before anybody chimes in on that. So after a quick run to Ace to get that 9/64 drill bit, I may have had one. I had a drawer full of drill bits. I got sick of looking. Figured the $250 it cost me was worth it. So we're gonna jump into this. So you can set up a table if you want. I just took the tailgate down and put a couple fender aprons, and we'll start to do our assembly there. Quick breakdown of what arrives with the kit. We got a little sealant kit that to be applied to the inside of the cloth cover if you see any leaks. All of the appropriate hardware, Really high quality brackets, a nice thank you note, and then request for reviews, a decal should you want to use that. These are the door loops, some weather stripping and additional tension straps, bed rails, passenger side and driver's side, and then of course the top loops and the header bow. So the one thing I've gotten a little bit of feedback is around this header bow. This is going to attach to the top of the windshield, and from all of my research it looks like this piece tucks a plastic piece under. So that's about the only piece that I still have some questions about. Other owners have said that it can be problematic, and it's, thank you Aria, hard to tension once it's on the vehicle. So I'll keep you posted. We got our required tools: 9/64 drill bit, number 2 Phillips drill bit, and the drill. 1/2-inch wrench and 1/2-inch socket, 7/16 socket, 8mm wrench, number 2 Phillips and a number 3, and then the pencils around here somewhere. Alright, let's do it. Bed rail installation. Locate the front and rear driver's side bed rails in the bag containing the 2 pivot brackets. 8 nuts, 8 washers, pivot pins. There's a sticker which designates the driver's side front bed rail. That is accurate. So it is here, driver's side front. So just because I tend to test fit everything, this will go here, connect there. This is going to connect to the other piece, and you'll notice the orientation for the rear bracket, because it is not labeled, has this piece facing inward towards the bed of the truck. This is going to hold, I believe, these 2 plastic pieces, which are the tensioners for the rear tailgate. All right, I'm gonna start putting that jazz together to resemble that photo. So I've removed the white protective paper. It is not adhesive, in big capitals, and won't stick. So clean level surface. We're going to join these pieces with the slotted pivot point brackets as shown. We have created the bed rails. So I have left the decals on, driver's side front, passenger side front. We have connected them. They are level and tightened. Onto the pivot pins, E-clips, and safety rings. Second hole from the top. These have 4 holes. And then our friends at Softopper go on to explain that a bracket from a different vehicle is depicted. So we're going to do our pivot pins, safety rings, and E-clips. Second hole from the top of a 4-hole bracket instead of the 3-hole shown. So we have completed steps 3, 4, and 5. Pretty straightforward. Pins in the second position, safety rings, safety clips. On to 6. The bag containing the 2 plastic rear retainers. They are marked A and B. A is driver's and B is passenger. Retainer slot should face in and the ring should be up. The parts have an A and a B. So on to step 7, using the 4 1032 screws and a 2 Phillips screwdriver, rear to the threaded holes in the rear of the bed rails as shown. Right. Number 8 completed. Passenger side, driver's side. You'll notice the orientation, loops are up and match the photo. On to page 7 and step number 9. Locate the bag containing the 8 hex bolts, nuts, and washers. Looks like that. Using a 1/2-inch socket, 1/2-inch wrench or socket, secure the bed rails onto the vehicle using the existing holes. Align the bed rails with the front edge and rear edge of the vehicle as shown. Alright guys, so the first kind of challenge I'm running into is you will notice that my factory roll bar bolt kind of interferes a little bit here. I don't think it's going to be such a big issue. You'll see it aligns with the factory mounting bolt there, mounting bolt there, mounting bolt there. However, this fourth bolt seems to not align with the mounting bolt that is there. So it looks like I may have to drill a hole there to hold this final one down. So I had heard that a little bit. It does look to be true. Just an FYI, maybe some good feedback to Softopper if this were to move. Oh, it does interfere with that back bracket. Not a biggie. It's a truck. So, on we go. Guys, so the back bolt does not line up, and there is enough flex that I am going to drill a hole to mount those back two. Alright, so I did end up drilling that last hole. Pretty clean installation. If you're in a wet climate or you get a lot of snow, rain, you might want to throw some primer on that. I live in Arizona, so I'm not too concerned about it. She is garaged. So it's those last two bolts and the bed rails are installed. All right, on to 11. Locate the bag containing 4 angled brackets, 2 black T-handles, that's the one. Using the 7/16 socket, attach these to the angled bracket through the bottom slots to the front of the bed rail. So those are going to attach here. All right, so step 12. I have the driver's side bed rail angled bracket. You'll notice a flat edge here, a flat edge here, angled edge there. However, you're probably going to have to loosen this last because the bracket needs to fit down there, and the physics of both pieces being in the same physical space at the same time are interesting. So, just another thing that the Plymouth Trail Duster and Ramcharger guys should be prepared for. Going on a little bit more than an hour now. 9mm for the snap bolts. All right, so step 12 is completed, and we are going up to step 1 in the door surround installation. So the makers of Softopper are pretty upfront that their prototype vehicle had some different screws, drilling may be required, etc. So this is what it looks like in the manual. I have a very original truck, and it looks like there is still a, I guess you would call it a roof gasket piece with 2 screws there. So I'm going to remove that because I believe the plate that we're going to install is going to connect directly there. But let's see. We'll learn together. I'm going to keep that. So after removing that cap, it looks like this bracket is going to go right there. This is the passenger side, and that is the driver's side with the bracket installed for the door surround. Hey Ari, say hi to everybody. Go. Surround installation, attach the front of the door surrounds to the inch angled brass brackets with 2 number 12 screws into the pre-drilled holes ensure that the Velcro is facing the inside of the vehicle. So this would be the driver's side, as this will mount to that bracket. So let's give it a test fit. Doesn't look right. So I might end up taking another look at this. I did have these brackets backwards. So as you look at it here, anybody installing one of these might have noticed earlier. So you'll see how that will attach there. And then this will line up here and attach back here. So I had it wrong. Hopefully anybody watching this video watched it once and then went back and didn't do what I did. Sorry guys and gals. Right, so step 2 with the Phillips screwdriver. I did not have the hand strength to do this with the pre-drilled holes. The pre-drill, let me show you the difference between what I had to do and the pre-drilled. So those are the pre-drilled, and that's what I had to do. Let me get a little bit closer. So they expected me to have the hand strength to put that screw into that hole. I know there's some jokers out there right now, but I did have to drill out the holes for the door surrounds in order to get the screws to move freely. You might be able to get it with a drill, but as you look at the difference, it's aggressive. So be ready to get a drill. The 964 is a little tiny for it, so be ready for that as well. All right, so we are getting ready to start to install the driver's side door surround. So instructions say to doesn't hurt to have someone to help. Right now I am solo in the garage, so we're going to do as much as we can. Sorry, Ari, you count. So you'll notice the bracket here. We're trying to get it fairly aligned with this bracket here. And then we want it to be fairly consistent around the door surround. So let's shut it. That good old Dodge clunk. Jump up here. Kind of give it a look here. That looks pretty consistent. And then not too shabby. I think that's about where we're going to look to get it. All right. All right, so we have the door surrounds installed on the driver's side and passenger side. Still leaves a little bit to be desired there, but I am hoping that the bubble gasket will make up for that. Under number 3, there is a note that says it may be necessary to flex the door surround a little. I found that I had to widen both of mine quite a bit. To do it, I just stood on one end and pulled on the other end. It is aluminum, so be careful. So, got everything aligned, and I will show you the finished product for the door surrounds. And then the same on the passenger side. You can see where I did flex the aluminum a little bit here, but that was me and nothing wrong with the kit or anything. So you'll see the fit here is a little tight, so we may end up adjusting that a little bit. So and then This one also has that small gap that I'm hoping the bubble gasket will make up for. And on we go to windshield header installation. Small bag with the 4 10x4 tapered screws, washers, and coupler nuts. You need that #2 Phillips screwdriver, 8mm wrench. So the 4 existing holes in the top are going to be, we're going to lightly fasten those for now. So let's take a look at that. All right, so the instructions here are a little vague. So it says using the 4 10x24 tapered screws, washers on bottom, and coupler nuts, a #2 Phillips screwdriver, and 8, attach the windshield header. So it's hard to say, but I think this goes into the roof. This comes up underneath with the washer on the bottom. So that's how we're going to try it. If I screw it up, I'll let you know. Here is the header, and you'll notice that this is an existing area, which gives further credence to my, yeah, that looks right. So that's going to go in there. This is going to go here. All right, so even though it was guesswork, that seems to work out. The aesthetics are right. And then this is going to secure across here to the 4 existing spots. And then the instructions say to drill. All right, so here is the header bow. Now, as of right now, I have the 4 factory positions filled with the coupler screws. And I've left them pretty loose as that plastic piece has to slide under there later. Now, instructions call for additional screws here, here, and here, which I don't believe I'm going to do. However, since these 2 end caps pull up so far and flex, I am going to drill some holes. For the purists out there, my apologies. Right, so windshield header installation is complete. Steps 1 through 6. So I will give you a visual. I did drill holes for these 2 outer, but you'll notice I left the 3 inner untapped. Just a personal choice. On we go. So next is door surround crossbar installation. All right, so the T-bolts and the carriage bolts and the T-handles are there. So let's get working on that. All right, folding frame assembly and installation. So here's the looped end. It goes over that. So that the adjusting strap is on the bottom. Alright, then just slide it up over. That's steps 1 and 2. Alright, steps 3, color dots on the pieces. Alright. Keep fingers clear of the sharp metal junction where the crossbars will meet. Alright. Alright, so the color dots. Yes, they did. There are red dot to that one. So that kind of tells me that, and then I believe the back bar is universal. Again, one challenge here is that the photograph they show is not for the top that we have. It does list that it's a 4 crossbar, but yeah, it doesn't much help us here. So On we go. All right, so the frame is installed, or I guess assembled more accurately, and now we are going to do safety rings from pivot pins. Slide the frame onto the pivot pins, secure the safety rings. Then we're going to make sure that the rear crossbar will extend rearward when the frame opens. Come on. All right, well, I'm going to cut this off because this is kind of boring watching me install pins. So, all right, so from inside the truck, you will see that the frame will adjust here, and it will retract backwards as the instructions require, and this is where it will fold if the whole roof is off or if it's folded back at the top. All right, so with the tailgate open, lower the folding frame to the rear, place the canopy on the edge. Snaps are here, which are going to align there, and then this is going to go forward, so make sure that's right. 2 tensioning straps between second and third. And on we go to step number 4. Stand on the tailgate and carefully lift the entire canopy and folding frame upward and forward until you can rest the front of the canopy over the door surround crossbar. From the ground, adjust the canopy and folding frames as shown above. Loosely latch the 2 rear safety straps to the rings of the plastic rear retainers. All right, guys, I'm gonna go offline for this one and wish me luck. All right, stand on tailgate. So what it doesn't tell you is that you need to you need to connect those straps to the other bar to give you the right tension to get everything going. So she does look very similar to the brochure. Now we are getting up toward the front of the header bow, and again, this is the part that I've heard differing opinions on how well that's going to fit underneath that. So let's see. So the first side went in pretty well. I am going to have to loosen the header just a little bit, but I was pleasantly surprised that the plastic piece started to fit right in. Here's an update shot. Coming right along. Nowhere near an hour. Windshield header. I had to loosen a couple of the bolts to get it to slide under, but it seems to be fairly tight. So the rest of the canopy looks to be going on. Things look pretty good. One side of the canopy came down during installation, and you can see the high quality clear glass. I did not go with tinted. I take her off-road a little bit at night, so wanted the extra visibility versus the cooling here in Arizona. She's not out in the heat very often, so all right, on we go. That was 7, and now we're going to undrape the sides of the canopy and rear window panel and hang them loosely. While pulling down on the crossbar, tighten the 2 rear safety straps to the rings on the black plastic power retainers. The safety strap should be snug, not loose. Connect the rearmost snap at the same panel to its mate on the bed rail by pulling down the rear crossbar and pulling on the fabric if necessary. Connect the foremost. All right, number 10, 11, and 12 are done. Actually 13, 14, and 15. So you'll see the snaps are all solid. They have you start at the front. then snap the furthest one to the back. Not easy on a brand new top, but I'm sure as time goes on, it will loosen up a little bit. Again, we start with the front. You'll notice there's some strong tension on this, so as we start to adjust others, we'll pull and get that. But looking good so far. Really happy with the construction. Again, instructions are a little bit confusing, but hopefully this will help people in the future. All right, 16 and 17 also pretty easy. So those are complete. Side Velcro straps, use desired tension. And you'll notice that the gap I was worried about initially has disappeared now. So these are Velcroed around to the side. Clean presentation from inside the vehicle as well. Good sealing so far. Granted, haven't driven her at speed, but everything is looking pretty good. High quality. These would be, once the windows are rolled up for the safari look, you can leave the top covered, which might be common here in Arizona, just to keep the sun off passengers, but you can roll up the side windows and the back window as well. So, last thing we got to do, back window. So these are the last Velcro strips for the tailgate, optional number 28. These provide extra strips that hold down the rear window to the flap to the tailgate. So I'm gonna put a couple small ones on there. I don't really like the looks of it when the top's off, so, but it will help seal to this Velcro piece here, and this won't flap around. So, all right, for the optional Velcro, just a couple small pieces. They had some big strips here, but anybody who owns one of these trucks knows they're not aerodynamic. You're not getting a lot of turbulence at the back. They're like a giant refrigerator driving down the road, so I'm not too worried about this flapping. So thanks for watching along. Hopefully if you're planning to install one of these, you learned a little something from my mistakes and gave yourself a little bit of extra time. Realistically, I'm saying alone probably closer to 3 hours than an hour to install. However, once you do one, a couple things will probably be easier the second time. Your drill is definitely your friend during this install, so keep your drill close by, and I'll keep you posted on how she holds up. We'll give her a long-term review and keep watching. Thanks, everybody.